Welcome back to Harmless Headcanons, and today I have to tell you guys more about how important Vandal Savage is to my DC Cinematic Universe. Just like in Young Justice, this guy is the progenitor of all metahumans. Every single metahuman in my DC Cinematic Universe is directly descended from Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage has gone by many names throughout his history. He was Genghis Khan, he was Alexander the Great, and here are two of my additions to his list of names: Osiris and Kronos. That's right, in my universe, Vandal Savage is literally the father of the Greek pantheon of gods and the father of the Egyptian pantheon. Vandal met a woman and had several children with her, which were the Greek gods. And this was his eldest son, Zeus. But Vandal was gearing up for another world domination trip, and Zeus was not about that. Zeus rebelled against his father, killed him, and gutted him. Believing his father to be dead, he freed his siblings from his father's imprisonment, and they went off to form their pantheon. Viewing this group of children as a failure, Vandal left and started a new life, as he always does. And so yes, because this guy is the son of Vandal Savage, that means that this woman is Vandal Savage's direct granddaughter. Welcome back to Harmless Headcanons, and today I'm going to be telling you guys who I have on my pantheon of Egyptian gods in my DC Cinematic Universe. Now, this is a shot of the Egyptian gods from the Marvel Universe, but like, this is the coolest shot of the Egyptian gods in comics that I could find, and like, it looks like a superhero team, which is the entire fucking point. So I'm using this one. Sorry. In the center of it all, Osiris, the god of life and resurrection, Vandal Savage. Next, Horus, the god of war, actually Qatar Hall, a stranded Thanagarian astronaut who crashed into the desert and was found by the Egyptian gods and welcomed into their pantheon. He would later go on to die a very horrible death and be continuously reincarnated as Hawkman. Next, we have the lion goddess Bastet, who is an early precursor to Cheetah in my universe. Then we have the god Sobek, an early precursor to Killer Croc. And rounding out two of the last most important members of the pantheon are Nabu, who would eventually die and become the Helm of Fate, and his son, who would eventually become the Grand Wizard known as Shazam. It is that wizard using the abilities from these gods who creates the champion Black Adam. And that is my Egyptian pantheon for my DC Cinematic Universe. This is Vandal Savage. He's a 50,000-year-old immortal caveman. He was exposed to the meteor that was in close proximity to the life entity, the White Lantern entity, and it made him immortal and mutated him into the very first metahuman. All of the children he would go on to father, and those children that they would go on to father, all the way down would become every single metahuman in my DC Cinematic Universe. He is the father of them all. But being 50,000 years old, this guy has gone by many names. So I welcome you to the many lives of Vandal Savage. Starting off 50,000 years before Common Era, Vandar. That was his name when he was a caveman. Over those centuries, he lived as a conqueror, a farmer, an artist, an inventor, literally just anything to fill the time. And then we get to his first notable historical role. He was going by the name Lugalbanda in the year 3400 BCE. This is the father of Gilgamesh. 1,000 years later, he would go on to father more gods as Osiris, the head of the Egyptian pantheon. 1,700 years later, he would be known as Kronos, and he would father the Greek pantheon. After his son Zeus believed to have killed him, Vandal decided to stick around and watch as the Greek and Roman empires rose, and he took the name Alexander. 300 years later, after traveling farther and farther north, he would father another pantheon of gods as Odin. We jump ahead another 400 years, and he's Attila the Hun. We jump ahead another nearly 1,000 years, and he's Genghis Khan. We jump ahead 400 more years, And he is William Shakespeare. You always gotta throw some fun ones in there. 100 years after becoming one of the world's most famous writers, Vandal decided he wanted to start fighting things again. And so he adopted the alias Edward Teach and became known as the dread pirate Blackbeard. 200 years later, he would find himself in close proximity to the Russian leaders of the time, and he would adopt the name Grigory Rasputin. And just after that, he would meet a woman named Helen of Themyscira, another immortal who wasn't related to him. And they both believed that as being superpowered individuals, they were better and the rightful rulers of humanity. He and Helen were married, and they adopted the aliases of Paula von Gunther and Wolfgang Krieger. And yeah, that's Oscar Isaac with glasses on, because I already made my video saying that I would fucking die to get Oscar Isaac to play Vandal Savage. So this is what the fuck y'all are getting for this reference photo. And then after the Justice Society killed his wife and his son, Vandal decided enough of the pretense. He dropped all of his false identities and fully embraced being himself, Vandal Savage, and he vowed that he would kill every single member of the Justice Society, but most importantly, he would kill his granddaughter, Wonder Woman.